Hey kids, look what showed up in the mail the other day.
So, yeah, finally got the book. So, if you're following along, this is SSSVEDA. I'm going to take these off because these are going to bounce life into my eyeballs, and I don't need my glasses to see the camera. And the camera is up there in case you're curious. So, today is day 14. It's also Good Friday for people in North America. Anyway, so yeah, I missed out on 12 and 13. Well, 12, I was actually out for the day, and I stayed out for the day. I actually caught to get some bonus points with the movie, my movie scene card thing. We have that thing in Toronto where I could go see Ghost in the Shell and get an extra 300 points. If you get 1,000 points, you get a free movie. 12 question was, what music do you listen to when you work or do other things? I was going to do a jokey little thing, putting up a little tag window up and say, like, what do you like to do? And just go, shh. Yeah, normally, well, if I'm working in the workshop building something, I might have my phone down there, rigged up a speaker system so I can listen to tunes. But if I'm getting intent on something, or if I need, laser focus on something, then the music comes off. When I was refurbishing my case, I got a new case. I put the old parts in a new case. Still needed a new motherboard down the road. I actually, on our cable system, we can get themed music like classical, 80s music, that kind of thing. I listen to all the different channels, and I end up listening to either jazz or classicals. I like other music when you're driving and stuff, but when you're doing intense work, I find like just something to calm you. But sometimes too, if listening to classical and parts of it got annoying, I would just turn it off and like, you know what, I got to focus. I got to fix this thing. So that was that. So yeah, most times, even gaming now too. Gaming, they come with their own soundtrack, so you don't really need to have music playing in the background. And the other question I missed out on was where have you traveled, or if you haven't traveled? Well, Day's two question was, what's your favorite vacay spot? So I'm going to stick up a card somewhere here or here, wherever. You will see it pop up, and it'll point to my first video. Don't have to sit through the whole 18 plus minutes of it, but if you tune in around 3 minutes in, I'll be answering question two, because I don't have a favorite vacay spot, but I ended up talking more about I've traveled around the world. And then today's question was, what do you like about your job? Well, we're not going there. I wanted to tell a story about how long it took me to get this book. I finally got the book. I would have bought it myself, but I got lucky. Back in January, when Amy was promoting her book, she was doing like her own little Vlog Like a Boss Veda, where she was basically vlogging every day in January. So I guess you would call it Veja, um, or Veja, vlog every day in January. So you could make some kind of an odd acronym. Anyway, she was doing a big push. She got a book to promote, so got to go everywhere and promote this book. So she was also doing a YouTube video every day. Sometimes she's doing quickie live chats, YouTube live. She actually did a Facebook live about, say, around mid-January, and I caught that one. So it was just basically a Q&A she was doing, and one of the last things she did, for the first three people that do this thing, I think it was like share the video somewhere, like right now, and say that you did it and post it and put on your emoji and whatever else to go with it. We'll consider you at the end of the broadcast if you're going to pick it off. And Vincenzo that's when he was homesick, giving her a hand. So yeah, anyway, I was one of the lucky three. They say like, okay, yeah, we're taking it. So on that day, and this is going to be part of the story, like how long it took to get this book to me, because we're now into April and this is back in January. So you got to kind of laugh about it. So at the end of the thing, I send Vincenzo a Facebook message and saying, like, by the way, here's my mailing address. And I know that the book wasn't coming out until end of January. So I figured, okay, sometime in February I should expect the book. So I was cool. I said, okay, let it go. And I know Amy was running around doing stuff. I know she's not just doing the whole thing, and Vincenzo has his thing to do. And I found out later that Amy does have an assistant. So I said, okay, I'll let it know. I'm not in a panic for the book right now. But then I figured, you know what? went poke Vincenzo on Facebook and says, dude, where's the book? And I said, oh yeah, there was a mock-up with this, sorry. And I said, okay, that's fine, that's cool. We'll let it go this time. And then I let that go for, a week or two, that kind of thing. I think I let it go through March, and I was doing other things as well. So also in February, my computer died. I mentioned that in the previous video as well. And so that got all fixed up. So that was my job in February. I made a video about that. I'll post that as well too if you're interested in doing computer repairs or seeing how to put a computer together in 10 easy steps. And I said, okay, so I got the computer up and running. I'm up and running, and I thought, okay, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, Gary, where's the book? So I said, screw it. Let's go to the boss. How do I get a hold of Amy, who's the vlog boss? It's her book. How do I get it? And so I went to this HeavySexySocial.com website, and most of her stuff is there too. Is actually for booking her speaking engagements, that kind of thing. So I figured, okay, where I'll pick that one and send off a lovely email. And by the way, here's my story, blah blah blah, and I would go directly to Amy, and actually goes to one of her assistants. But anyway, I got a nice email back a couple of days later saying, sorry about the mix-up. We'll get back to you shortly. Unfortunately, there was no follow-up email, which I would have thought, at least if you're running a business, because I've been in enough businesses myself, and I've worked in enough, most of my, other than the Army, everywhere else has been customer-oriented, and I know enough to okay, you should at least do a follow-up, letter, email, phone call, and say hey, by the way, we apologize. Oh, and we're mailing out the book. So when was it? Yesterday? I believe it was Thursday? Yeah, because Wednesday I went out to the movie. So yeah, Thursday. So Thursday, pick up the mail. Now, anyway, I went to the box and I found oh, what's this cardboard packaging? So brought it home, opened it up, and there's the book. This lovely little book. So I just started reading it, and the one kudos I will give to it, because I think I've mentioned it before, I have a bit of a issue with my eyes. I got a cataract on the one and not the other one. I used to wear glasses since I was 5, but now I don't have to wear glasses anymore. So now I got to wear magnifiers just for reading close in working on the computer. So yeah, but the print is beautiful in this one, except for the part where in the beginning there's a section of all these snippets from Twitter and YouTube comments about how much they really love Amy and her book, or just like Amy in general. That's hard to read. I would have to probably go with a powerful magnifier to read that. But the book itself is a nice fine print, because I saw this the other day too. The big beef I have, years ago, I've actually I've done some design work in my past. I've worked in the printing business. I actually, when I was back in college, doing some multimedia stuff, and we were learning how to make interactive kiosks and how to design things. You kind of learn how to do things. And there's this big trend now for the last, I'll say 5+ years, where everybody's putting everything on a white background with very fine type. I mean, on the internet, it's great. You can just, zoom in as big as you want. Go control mouse wheel or hit zoom in your menu and, blow it up as big as you want. If you're reading something on a tablet, great. Just increase the text size. But I always joke, it's the world's not, 2020 for 20-year-olds. You got to realize, you have to make it for everybody to be able to read, not just, and I think some designers they don't know it, or it's the local trend. Like I said, I've seen it on websites, I've seen it in menus, certain books or whatever, but like I said, this book I really appreciate, the type and the size and everything. But I just want to mention the story because that was the funniest thing. Oh yeah, back in January, it's 3 months later, I finally got the book. So we're going to read this, see if this helps me out. I have picked up a few more pointers. Things I am learning to put, I think I didn't know YouTube had this feature now. Now I'm putting in end scenes. Like I said earlier, I'm going to put a card in for descriptions. And I learned how to do thumbnails using Canva. So like Canvas, but without the S.com. And you can go there. They have templates and everything, just to make sure you have a picture of some sort. I forget what the dimension of the pixels has to be, so big by so big. And you can drop in your own picture, but they actually have like pre-made things. You can use the fonts there and slap together a quickie little thumbnail that you can drop into your YouTube video. And it's actually designed for making YouTube thumbnails. It took me a few tries to figure out, okay, I made the thing, now how do I get it? Oh, you hit the download button, it downloads it to your desktop, and then you can drag and drop it, or hit the link in YouTube when you're updating and doing your editing, and you can drop in your quickie thumbnail. So my last few videos I've been doing that. I might go in later on and go through. I've only got about like 40 videos in my repertoire, and I can probably go through and maybe make new end screens and thumbnails to make things a little more accessible and viable for people who want to watch my channel. And we've hit 40, so almost there. So it's the 14th. We're about halfway there. So I'd be happy if I have at least 50 subscribers and go from there. So like if you liked, dislike if you didn't like. Everybody knows the drill by now. Subscribe if you want. Like I said, I do some pretty interesting stuff if you like that sort of thing. And we'll see you in the next one. Be seeing you.